You know, for decades, the NBA has been fighting this constant battle to protect its integrity from the world of gambling. But now, we're in an era where betting isn't just legal, it's mainstream. And that threat, it's evolved into something way more complicated, and honestly, a lot more dangerous. What we're gonna do is look at two massive scandals, almost 20 years apart, that really pull back the curtain on just how vulnerable the game we all love might be.
So it all just blows up in October of 2025. The news hits like an absolute shockwave. Chauncey Billups, we're talking a Hall of Fame player, a respected head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, he's been arrested by the FBI.
But it wasn't just him. It didn't stop there. The very same day, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, a major player in the league, is also taken into custody. And the accusation? That he's a central figure in this huge illegal gambling ring.
And then came the part that sent a chill down everyone's spine. Federal prosecutors announced that this whole operation, which involved tens of millions of dollars in fraud, was allegedly backed by organized crime, specifically La Cosa Nostra crime families. It's like something out of a movie. But to really understand how the league even got to this point, we've got to rewind the clock. We have to go back to 2007. Right, this is where the modern story of NBA betting scandals really kicks off. It all starts with just one single referee who betrayed what the league itself called its most sacred trust. I mean, Tim Donaghy was the definition of an NBA insider. This guy was a veteran ref, 13 seasons under his belt, making a great salary. He was respected by players and coaches. He was trusted. But behind all that, he was hiding this massive secret, a severe gambling addiction that was about to bring the entire sport to its knees. And his downfall, it wasn't a sudden thing. It was this slow burn. It started way back in 2003, when he first started betting on games. But by late 2006, it had escalated, big time. He was now selling his inside knowledge, I'm talking about information only a referee could possibly have, to pro gamblers for cash. So when the FBI investigation finally goes public in July 2007, his whole world just implodes. A month later, he pleads guilty, and he ends up being sentenced to 15 months in federal prison. And just listen to the words from the commissioner at the time, David Stern. You can almost feel the panic. He tried so hard to frame Donaghy as just one rogue official, an isolated case, but his words really show how terrified the league was. The fear wasn't just about one crooked ref. It was about the public, the fans, losing faith that the games were even fair to begin with. So, after the Donaghy scandal, the NBA, of course, tightens its rules for referees. They try to clean house. But in the years that followed, while they were focused on that, the entire world of sports betting was about to get turned completely upside down. Everything, and I mean everything, changed in 2018. That's the year the Supreme Court struck down the federal law that had banned sports betting pretty much everywhere. This decision didn't just open a door, okay? It blew the floodgates wide open. It took sports betting from this shadowy underground thing into a multi-billion-dollar, totally legal and sanctioned industry. And this shift really shows you the league's kind of complicated relationship with betting. If you go back to 2014, the current commissioner, Adam Silver, was actually arguing for legalization. He thought, hey, let's bring it into the sunlight so we can regulate and monitor it. Makes sense, right? But by 2025, that optimism was gone. He's now describing this hodgepodge of state laws that leaves the league feeling totally powerless. And it was this brand new legal landscape that created a totally new way for corruption to creep in, all centered on one specific type of bet. And that bet is the prop bet. Okay, so unlike a normal bet on which team is going to win, a prop bet is a wager on a single player's stats. Will Terry Rozier score more or less than 15.5 points? Will he get over or under 4.5 assists? It's these tiny little micro events inside the game that became the brand new frontier for game fixing. Which of course brings us right back to the 2025 crisis. With prop betting totally mainstream now, this new scandal wasn't about some rogue ref trying to influence the final score. No, this was about players allegedly manipulating their own stat lines, with organized crime pulling the strings from the shadows. And according to the FBI, the group providing the muscle and the money for these schemes was La Cosa Nostra, the American Mafia. The name literally translates to our thing, and it's a secret society that's been tied to illegal gambling in the US for generations. Their alleged involvement is what turned this whole 2025 probe from a simple betting scandal into a massive federal racketeering case. So how did the scheme supposedly work? Well, it was actually shockingly simple.
Prosecutors say Terry Rozier planned to take himself out of a game in March 2023 early, claiming he had foot discomfort. He then allegedly passed that little tip to a friend, who then turned around and sold that priceless information to other gamblers for $100,000. Armed with that inside info, they placed huge bets on the under for all of Rozier's prop bets because they knew he wasn't going to play long enough to hit any of his usual numbers. And get this, the corruption apparently didn't even stop at the basketball court. The federal investigation also uncovered a second parallel scheme, these super high-stakes underground poker games. And these were not your friendly Friday night card games. Organizers were allegedly using wild cheating tech, like X-ray tables, to defraud players out of millions. And some of the very same names from the NBA world would be linked to these tables too. So, okay, let's break down this alleged network. You've got Terry Rozier, the active player, right at the center of the prop betting scheme. Then you have Coach Chauncey Billups connected to those rigged poker games. And then there's Damon Jones, a former player and coach who seems to be the crucial link between both worlds, allegedly involved in both schemes, selling player info and playing in those crooked card games.
So when you really put it all together, what you're seeing are two scandals that strike right at the heart of the NBA. But the nature of the threat, the way the game is being attacked, has fundamentally changed.
I mean, the evolution here is just startling. In 2007, it was one rogue ref messing with the final score. Fast forward to 2025, and it's a whole network of players and coaches allegedly manipulating their own performances through prop bets. The power to corrupt the game literally shifted from the official to the athlete. And maybe most importantly, where mob ties in the Donaghy case were kind of dismissed, now in 2025, they are a central, direct allegation in the investigation.
And this all leads us to the fundamental question, right? The NBA used to be terrified of the shadowy world of illegal gambling, but now it's literally partnered with a legal multi-billion-dollar industry that makes it easier than ever to bet on every single play, every stat, every second of a game. It's a world the league once championed as a way to create transparency, but it might have accidentally created a game that's even harder to police, leaving all of us to wonder, is this an unwinnable fight?